And we are live.
What it do? What it do? What it do? Y'all already know this your boy Sixxcess, Sixxess, and we got Tanya. What's up, Tanya?
Yes, what's going on? What's going on, y'all? Of course, it's a transition period. So, y'all, I'm changing my name, of course, from Jezebel to
Yeah,
True
she
to
pulling the
Tanya.
yay on us. She pulling the
Yeah,
yay on us. Like we
now,
got so like you would you go by just like a letter? Would you change your name to just like two just like a cool symbol or something?
um, no, I haven't thought about that. But because you guys, I am exploring new business ventures, I need my name to be synonymous across all boards. So if you don't know me
Mhm.
personally, my real name is Tanya for short. So you guys, that's where we at.
Time
we
out.
put we
Time,
putting
time,
governments out there.
Yeah, like and we can't go over a government like that without us breaking it down. That was Tanya Lala.
Tanya with the N.
Tanya Na.
Uh-huh.
Okay, look at that. Somebody didn't want it to end. That's okay. Well, since we throwing out governments, mine is Kron, which you guys can find on my Facebook page, Kron Trowell. That is my Facebook. That is where old Success cuts up during the daytime and get a lot of this good feedback that I'm going to share with y'all today. Now, we got a real good
Mm,
show for y'all today. Now, I ain't going to hold you, Jezebel. I kind of got Facebook on fire this morning when I shared the news that NBA YoungBoy surpassed Michael Jackson, Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, and many, many others.
I can
Well,
believe that.
people don't like when old Michael Jackson get passed. People love them some Michael Jackson from past time to the new time. I mean, I think that if we turn on some Michael Jackson, our kids would love it today. So hey, I get why people get their panties in a bunch, but y'all gotta understand the music industry was a different game and a different animal back then in the 70s and the 80s. Y'all still thinking that things ran the same way? Well, let me tell y'all a little secret here. It is kind of ran the same way, but technology runs the game. Now, y'all know I always tell y'all that. What I always tell Jezebel, this game is no different. It's just more access now. And
Yep.
I'm like, the more access comes along, well, you guys really have no excuses on why you're not doing things that you should be doing.
Yep.
You have no reason why you can't do well. I mean, surely what Michael Jackson did back in the day, somebody with that type of access. I mean, what $1 million back in the day was like super uber rich. $50 million is what Michael Jackson had at that time. Maybe then let's
Mm,
just say that's like like back then that is unheard of. But now
mm,
these kids are getting $25 million deals, $50 million deals, $100 million deals. Like it ain't nothing. So I mean, to compete with a Michael Jackson level is not really that hard when you talk about how these things really work now. You know,
mm.
so it's kind of interesting that people have a hard time believing that everyone is all on this talent thing, and I hate that word.
Now
I hate
let
it
me
now.
just interject right quick because
Jump in.
I missed. I was on every other platform but Facebook, and you guys, I'm guilty of that. I was on Twitter,
Hmm.
YouTube, Instagram, and forgot all about Facebook today. So I mean, we're in
Yeah,
a different time. Michael, I don't even, I can't, I mean, I would believe that that's true. Now, I think when people think of Michael Jackson, they think of more pop versus this uh, dark hip hop. And how could that be just as talentful as Michael Jackson?
yeah,
But
yeah.
you have to realize that we're in a new age. So I could see that. I could see that happening.
Yeah, like it's crazy because I was doing some research on Michael Jackson because I knew that I had been talking a lot of stuff about Michael Jackson lately, and the reason is I've been trying to draw clarity to what's happening in the music industry. I'm ready to push the movement genreless music. I'm ready to end all genres, and I'm ready to start a petition that we just get rid of anything remotely to a genre and let it just be called music, artist. Because I was going through Michael Jackson's catalog, the king of pop, Dirty Diane is a rock metal song. It's not even a pop song. It's a rock metal song. So then I'm like, hey, wait a minute, wait a minute. Well, what did NBA YoungBoy say? He said he's a rock star. I mean, he said he's a rock star. So Michael Jackson was making rock music too. Like, I mean, hey, all these artists are touching genres and sharing these genres. How can we start just? What measures do we have, right? Because the only reason that we said that Michael Jackson had the talent back then is because he had the fans screaming his name, going crazy, the tours, and the album sales after his sixth album. And a lot of people don't understand why I keep on stressing the fact that that's after his sixth album, because a lot of artists get discouraged by numbers, and a lot of artists get discouraged by flopping. But the greatest one in the world that you can't even name somebody up against, the minute you do, everybody gets offended. He flopped 4 times before he made it. And people say it's not a flop. Michael Jackson never flopped. If all your albums are number one, once you hit 95, 96, and 100, those are flops. Those are flops.
Now, when you said erasing genres and how NBA YoungBoy says that he's a rock star, I think Lil Wayne said it best. Like, do not close me into no box. Like he's a man of many talents. I can do it all.
Hello.
He showed us, So I mean, I see where NBA YoungBoy is taking his career. He's actually expanding it by not putting himself just in the hip hop box.
I mean, he has to, because let me tell you what happens when we throw ourselves. Any rapper out there that wants to stay in the rapper lane, you subject yourself to rapper things,
Hmm. That's
and
fact.
and unfortunately, you can't walk around this world when people hate when you rap. Y'all know people hate rappers.
Yep.
They grow to love them, but they don't like rappers. I mean,
It's
like, look at how long rap had to fight for its spot, just even to be where it's at right now.
Mhm. That's true.
It's crazy to think that now they're trying to put a ban on drill music. It
I
reminds me of the 90s.
I wouldn't say I agree with putting a ban on drill music, but I do believe if you implicate yourself in a crime in your music, then you should be ready to go to court. As Dirk said it best, if you're gonna talk about a murder in your music, then you better be ready to go to court. And if y'all
Yeah,
didn't catch
facts.
that lyric, that's in Dirk's new aha. And I really like that song. So yeah, I actually paid attention to what he was saying. But
Yeah, like Dirk been speaking some real stuff lately, telling y'all how to move. But
mhm,
a lot of people asking why is Dirk being so gangster lately. But the reality of the matter is y'all don't understand that this is how y'all. When I say y'all, I'm talking about the fans, the constituents. The people that actually supply the finances. Y'all the ones that make these genres like get created like this and treated like this. Only the artists that choose to break down the barriers are the ones that become legends and become greats anyway.
speaking of greats, how do you feel about? They said MGK is returning. Machine Gun Kelly. Machine Gun Kelly is returning back to hip hop. Now tell me what you think about that because I don't. I'm not really too familiar with all of his music, but I thought he initially started in the hip hop realm, and then he
Yes.
just. I think Eminem ended his career, if I'm not
Well,
mistaken.
some would say that, but like, to be quite honest, I'm gonna tell y'all like this. Do y'all want to go industry talk, or do y'all want to just talk like we just talking like we just a bunch of fams just hanging out around the way? I mean,
uh,
because if we talking like we just fam hanging out around the way, it's smart for him to come back to hip hop. He got his money now, he got his name now. He has a fan base, and they're gonna follow him because fans don't give a damn about the type of music you make as long as you're making music. So,
yeah,
all right, cool. He went over there in the rock world, made a name, won some awards, got himself some accolades. Come on back to hip hop, young man. I don't know if he's necessarily hip hop-ish, you know, but at the end of the day, what is hip hop now? Like I said, it's all melodies. It's all singing, it's all feelings and emotions. It's just what he's asking for when he says that. He now wants a harder fan base. He wants to prove himself in the platform that he kinda, I guess, didn't take over.
Mhm.
So yeah, he wants to come back. And now it's the best time to come back because industry wise, now you got some money. Now your label ain't as in control as it was before. You know, you got a little bit of creative control. So we may get some really good music from MGK. But why did he have to go and say he did rock music in the first place? Was what is more interesting. Why does every rapper feel like they got to say, I'm a rock star
Well,
at some point?
okay. With him, I think a lot of people would just focus on complexion and saying that he kind of, what they like to say, used the culture to get known and then abandon the culture and now wants to come back, type of thing. But then when you use it as all rappers, I don't, I think for most hip hop or rappers, they just want to expand it. Now, when you're going into rock music and heavy metal, if you like rap, drill rap music, you're like heavy metal, or, and I'm not just talking about the sound,
Yes.
I'm talking about more so of the lyrics.
Content.
And yeah, if you like rap music, you would like hard rock, heavy metal. So I think those two are kind of synonymous, just with different melodies and, just with different
Yes.
sound. Because
And
I listen to hard rock.
that's why the attack on drill music is nothing more than systematic racism.
Okay, right. Um, And this is where I have to debate you on that, because I was thinking about this the other day, and no disrespect to my own people.
Right.
But why is it that we always point the finger when we don't hold ourselves accountable? So, for instance, just like in heavy
Well,
metal, there's talking about die, 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 kill, kill, kill. Their murder rates are not
correct.
skyrocketing amongst Caucasian people
Uh,
as it is amongst Black people. And I might not be statistically all the way correct. I might be a point percentage off,
a
but
point. Just a point.
let's be realistic. No, their music, it drives to overdoses, ODs, but not murder.
Look
Okay.
though. Real quick, real quick.
Uh
Because while
huh.
on that point right there, when you watch Law and Order, SVU, all these crime narrative movies, when the killer is out doing his business, he's never listening to hip hop. There's a rock song on, some type of pop song or country song on. I ain't never seen one of those movies where. See, the thing is, we're in a world where I don't watch. I don't watch white news channels. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Like I've never sat there and said, okay, Fox shows what's happening in my hood. Let me
mm,
go over to West Virginia CNN or
mm,
Arkansas CNN or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I never cared. But I do know that it's no way that someone's gonna tell me that you can listen to their music and feel a same way because they show it where they get make rage music and things like that and it has I don't see it outrage of banning. Again, it's because I don't watch white news. Maybe in the white communities, they're like ban this metal, ban this rock music, ban this. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, but in my world that I live in, we're under attack because any rapper could go and transition to say I make rock music and he's safe.
I stand on my point with the numbers as far as relative numbers,
Yeah,
with the drill music and the constant rise, especially in inner cities where, and a lot of rappers are getting killed. How many
right.
heavy metal artists do you see getting murdered right now?
Nah, that's not gonna happen. You're right. That's
They're
not gonna happen
dying mostly of
because
overdoses.
well, I
You know
mean,
what
like
I'm saying?
it's
Stuff
because
like that.
white people still hold their stars to a different level than black people hold their stars. White people put their stars on a level of like, oh, this is greatness. They're godlike. Black people put their stars on a level where like I can do that. They're my competition now. Like I'm gonna take them out by any means necessary.
I just have a disdain for just us not taking accountability for, sometimes for things. You guys know Snowfall is back on. And I was just watching Snowfall the other day and I'm like, well, crack was everywhere. Crack was around white people, crack was around Spanish people, crack was around black people. But
Yeah,
yet we blame someone else for us ingesting these drugs. Yes, they were placed in our neighborhood, but what is the accountability of teaching your children and your family not to be susceptible to these drugs? It's the same
right.
thing where I feel with the music industry and the murders going up with the drill rap. Like, let's take accountability. Yes, the music does have a reflection on what's going on because other people make the same type of music, but their communities are not going up in flames like we are. So,
Yeah, yeah, not like their communities are not going up in flames at the rapid rate. But when you talking about their kids, their theft rates are coming up. The kids are joining gangs. Like white kids, their problem, because our problems was already drugs and no fathers and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Because that was already our problems. The lowest for us was death. It wasn't jail. In the 80s and 90s, they was already throwing us in jail. But
mhm,
for the white people that were going to college, and now these kids are saying, I don't want to go to college. I want to rap. I want to be on YouTube. Oh, their communities are in an uproar right now. Tommy wants to rap? What? Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. And the crazy part about it is they learn the game way faster than we do because again, it's no different than sports. Talent, we expect that to win over everything. You see a bunch of black kids on the team, they automatically assume they're gonna beat a bunch of white kids just because they're black.
mhm.
And it's
That's
like,
sad.
hey, in this music industry, the race does not matter in this music industry only to the people that are not in the industry. You're gonna still be judged by that. Because, like I said, I believe that a white artist can go out here and make as much music as he wants about killing whoever he wanted to kill. I mean, look, Eminem made a whole album about taking his girl and driving her off the bridge and killing his moms and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, there was never an investigation because those people were still alive. You know, but if these were black people, if these were black people, I'm willing to bet conspiracy charges would have been brought up on all the asses.
I don't think so. I mean, unless the mom and the girlfriend ended up missing.
Ended up missing. You know what I'm saying?
Out.
So it's just crazy, but like we got a real live problem right now in the music industry, and for real, people don't see it. We can't attack legends. We can't speak on legends. There's no respect to new artists coming up, and it's like, what are we battling for? Did they do think? I don't think they had to battle like this in the '70s. Mainly because at the end of the day, if you wanted to hear music, you had to turn on the jukebox, the radio player, and you had to hear the only one person you could hear for miles, and whoever he played, you heard. There wasn't that opportunity to be like, oh, I don't want to hear this. I'm gonna go play this. I'm gonna play that. I asked this question in a time when you had no choices and no options, as opposed to a time when you have options and have choices, which is a better time to judge what fans really want? It would be my theory that the time when I can walk into the store and choose whatever I want, as opposed to having to eat what you fed me, is a better time to judge what the fans want or what the people want.
Well,
I mean,
then, and with that aspect, that's conditioning because when you have a set list of what the people are going to listen to and they eventually begin to like it, you're already conditioning. Like they're gonna like something, right? As
yes.
opposed to giving them an option. So I think, I mean,
Wasn't that our 90s radio? When we had nothing but Donnie Simpson and those guys feeding us the same 5 songs every hour. And then they talk and then give us the same 5 songs. I mean, I
mhm,
had no, if I chose not to listen to the radio or go out and purchase a CD and things
mhm,
like that. And shoot, in the '90s, not every kid. if anybody and everybody can say they had a Walkman, but we know y'all didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like radios and stuff like that in the hood was like what?
This is another thing I be thinking about. Like, okay, so in the earlier hip hop days, you had revolutionary rap. And like I feel like revolutionary rap is kind of like going away outside of like Kendrick. Like it's
Yep.
going away, and it's like instead of you rapping about killing your brother, why don't you rap about who the real ops are supposed to be?
Because that doesn't last anymore. Because in today's world, our battles change too fast. Our battles change like an Instagram post.
Mhm.
It's today cancel culture. It's like he's canceled, he's done, and then tomorrow it's like, oh my bad. So imagine the person that gets up and starts that revolution, the one that writes that song that's catered to the revolution of what everyone is feeling, and then tomorrow everyone no longer feels that way because that person has easily swayed and bought that attention. Now that artist is public enemy number one. Did you hear that guy that said we could rise above it? Did you hear that guy? Who the hell does he think he is? Rise above it. We're supposed to be all one. We're supposed to be
Mhm.
connected. So I mean,
Yeah.
like we're in a world now where, like, honestly, artists, like, look, artists. You see, Nicki Minaj got on her page and was like, "Yeah, my cousin got the COVID shot and his nuts swell up." She was like, "Damn!" They was ready to crucify her. Like she told everybody, "Don't get the damn shot." You feel me? She had no opinion on it at all, just telling you what happened to her cousin.
Yeah, it's hard to say stuff nowadays. But I just, I feel like instead of complaining about drill music being banned, change the content of the drill. Like if you want
I
to
mean,
hate
like
and kill somebody, hate and kill your oppressor.
the thing is, like, how can we ban anything when there's so many options? That's why I'm so mad at the world and these genres that we've created. There's so many options. I mean, look, I don't like watching certain shows on television, and I love the fact that I can grab my remote and
Mhm.
flick to something else really quick. I love these DVR features where and these like on demand features where you can go and find anything to watch that you want to watch. That's what we have. So I mean, like, no one in this world, if you don't want to hear drill music, why is it number two in the world in America? Why is it the number two genre in America?
Because the
Because it's just like the 90s. We back in the 90s. Jezebel, the world isn't going forward. The only thing is moving forward is technology. But ideas, when technology increases, you know what people say? Maybe we can fix that thing that we was trying to do way back when. Let's do that. With this technology, surely we can fix it. And they start going back and they start trying to tweak. And when they realize, dang, 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 that doesn't work, we need to create something new. More technology comes out. And then they say, all right, now this is surely going to fix that problem 40 years ago. Let's go back and
Mhm.
try that. That's how we stay in this stasis of a world that we in right now. Because they were trying to ban hip hop, and I remember seeing footage of them throwing all of NWA and Public Enemy records all in a pile and setting fire to them, and all in front of the courts, ban it, ban it, ban it. And what
But
happened?
do you know why? But see, that's the when I hear about that and I think about the music nowadays, like they were talking about F the police and fighting back and all of that other
Revolution,
stuff. Yeah,
revolution stuff. We
like
call it revolutionary stuff, but like they call that joke like inciting riots.
and so like I guess that's more so why they didn't want it out here. But as far as drill music, I mean, they promote it because it's promoting you killing someone that looks like
I blame all the fans. When I started rapping in 2009, everyone said the raps wasn't real enough. Rap wasn't real enough. Rap was losing its gusto. Rap was becoming too commercial. And I was loving that time. I was loving what Kanye had brought into the game and the new image that he had put on it. Backpacks, polos, talking
you.
clean, talking rising. I was loving that. And everyone was telling me, okay, you lunching, twin, that ain't it. Six, come on now. That's some lollipop rap. That ain't real rap. They even told old Success, you ain't a real rapper because you don't rap about street stuff. Well, what do y'all think all the people that was listening to y'all tell me that or lying to my face? They went back like they weren't real, do they?
Mm.
I'll tell you what I did last week. How
I
you
mean,
like that?
Kanye always had fire beats. Speaking of which, I was watching a Shaka Khan interview the other day where she said he butchered her song through the wire. She's very displeased with the way that he did it, but I think he did the song justice.
Let me
Um,
tell you something. He did it better than her verses. I tell you that. And the boy sing bing bong.
oh,
Hey,
stop.
what? Hey, listen,
Oh,
that song through the wire aged better than her performance of the verses. So she should be thanking Kanye West for that rendition. Because that's
and it,
if it was not for that, if not for that, I wouldn't know who Shaka Khan was.
whatever. Yes, you would.
I had to go back. I had to go back. I'm one of those people. I'm gonna tell y'all a real life story. Kanye West introduced me to Shaka Khan through the wire.
Mm, I, I don't
That's
know what to
old
say
people
about that.
music.
Yeah,
That's
I
my
mean,
mamas and them music. That's my mama and
that
them
she's
music.
right along the line of Stephanie Mills, Gladys
My,
Knight,
that's my grandmama and
Patti
them. That's my
LaBelle.
grandma.
How
That's
dare
cookout
you?
music. That's cookout music.
How dare you?
That's cookout music. That's cookout music. I
Those
heard
are
that.
the ladies of soul. You know
They,
what?
they legends. They
Yes, they
legends.
are.
Yeah, they
But
legends.
anyway,
But that's
back
still
to
that's
my
still like that's still my grandmother music. You know what
back
I'm
to
saying? Like,
my point initially was about Kanye and his beat choice. For a person like me who's not really listening to your lyrics all the time, it took me a
yeah.
few times to realize that half the songs that I like is really talking about killing people. But I wouldn't know because the beat is so fire. I'm just thinking about dancing. So
Your
it's
your favorite artist, your favorite artist is living off the ghost of Pookie, isn't he?
like
Like my man,
I,
like Jamie just said. Like Jamie just said, the street cred is if you don't got street cred, they say you ain't real. That's why Jay Z. That's why Jay Z felt like he had to stab his bootlegger
mm, I just
because
feel
he didn't
like if
have
you
enough street
choose
credit.
the right if you choose the right beats, you can rap bubblegum music all day as long as
Ooh,
your beat sound is club music.
let's talk about it, Jezebel. Let's talk about that part, right? Because a lot of artists do not understand beat selection. And I want to
Mm,
break down something to all my artists out there listening. Y'all need to understand something. Beat selection is not just what sounds good with your voice, what sounds good with your style of music. But if you can't get in touch with the producer to clear a record, bad beat choice.
mm,
If you don't know who the producer is that made the record, even worse, beat choice. All right,
mm,
these are decisions that y'all have to start making in your head. I work with a few artists. They give me records. First thing I want to know is who produced this record. If you tell me you don't know YouTube and you don't have no clearances and stuff like that, I automatically get turned off. And not in like one of those weird ways, y'all. Don't get weird. All right. But I get turned off by that. I'll be like, whoa, you have not chose to take your career serious enough to either make sure you got the right beats or sit down with the right man to make sure
mhm,
your career is done. Now y'all understand this. I'm about to tell y'all something that I know y'all probably not gonna get. But this music industry has never been made up by an artist and a bunch of goddamn random producers on his record trying to get into the game. Now, if you big and you done made it and you trying to show your clout and your range of all the people you know and all these producers gonna be on your album, congratulations. Big deal. Hoorah. But if y'all find me an artist that has an album with 12 records and 12 different producers, I'll retire today. Not only will I retire today, I will leave the face of this earth and delete all my social media presence. Because that just don't happen, y'all.
but
That's
why?
like
I
what we
mean, but
call
why wouldn't somebody want to have a variety of producers on their records to give different
that's a
flavors?
mixtape. That's a mixtape. But you would not want to do that because see, like the thing about it is albums, and a lot of people have gotten away from what albums are supposed to do. right? A lot of people just think that albums are just supposed to be a bunch of music that I've been making in the studio for the past 2 months, and I need to get rid of it. I need to put it out. But that's why your albums are not classics. That's why no one is listening to it past the first day or the first week. They, that's why your singles are the only things that be moving on your records. Well, if your albums don't tell no story, don't give no theme, don't have no substance that makes me want to, continue it, then
Mhm.
what's the big deal? I mean, every great album had a theme. Get Rich or Die Trying, Marshall Mathers, even the Thriller album, Off the Wall, Chris Brown's first album, Yo, you know, I can go on and on and name a bunch of great albums. Kanye's College Dropout, Kanye's Graduation, Late Registration. you know, these are
Mhm.
how great albums are made. They follow themes. They give the listener a journey.
Yeah.
None of y'all want to do that anymore. Y'all want to have boot to boot to boot, tickety tickety tickety. I'm confused. I don't even know who you are once I finish your album. I'm like, hold on, is this? Did wait? Like, what does he do? What type of music does it? What's the like? What's the feel? I don't
Mhm.
like when artists come to shows and do multiple like try to show. Okay, I get Drake has changed the game and makes all you guys want to show you can sing and you can rap, and I get it. It's great, but I mean, come on, people. Do you want to be a rapper or you want to be a singer? I
But
always
why
tell
you
y'all the
have to be in a
story.
box?
Well, I told y'all the story about if you don't want to be signed and you want to move around in this industry, just what I'm saying, like a fish, and make your money and make your ways, then by all means disregard anything that I'm saying because you're free to jump around and do whatever you want to do.
Free to jump around.
Those are the artists that I'm talking to because if you want to build something steady, you have to make sure that your fans know what they're gonna get all the time. It's called quality and assurance of what I'm getting. Look at Tory Lanez for all you people that don't know the Tory Lanez story. He was signed with Universal as a singer, and once he signed, his life was amazing. But then he remembered that he can rap too, so he started dropping a bunch of rap albums, and the label was like, "That ain't it. That ain't the one, fam. Nah,
Mhm.
that don't count, fam." And he said, "What's going on? Y'all trying to hold me back?" And they say, "Nah, like we was looking for a singer,
Mhm.
and we signed you for your singing ability. We don't need a rapper." Sometimes it's about what people need. It's about what your fans need. Only you know what your fans need if you're in touch with your fans. But I tell y'all all the day, like this: if you have a rapper fan, if you have a rap fan base, and you start singing, they're not going to tell anybody that you sing. They're not going to even tell anybody about your new singing records. They rap fans. They're gonna still be talking about your old records, and then when people go look at them, they're gonna be like, "Oh, these records are from 2 years ago, 3 years ago, a year ago." Woo woo woo. You know? Oh, they your singer fans are only gonna tell them about your singing songs. And then when people hear the rapping, like listen, mind you, I don't really like I don't really know too many people that like be hanging with like mixed genre circles. That's why I want the genres to like be erased. Then you can start talking about music with people in a bigger realm, in a realm that's more of a level playing field.
So
Because when
let me
you really
ask
think
you
about it,
something.
yeah.
And this is more so your advice. In categorizing your album, when you sit down to create an album, do you decide, okay, I'm gonna make two club songs, I'm gonna make four car songs, and I'm gonna make three other songs that can go in either or do you
So
just do what you do and hope that it could be placed in
now,
all
like
scenarios?
all for the first process in making an album is always going to be for me picking my theme, where I'm going with my album, what I'm trying to say. I mean, like all my albums have a theme. From my 2K album, I already knew that I was going to be doing a lot of basketball references. So I made the title of the song from titles with fast break, rebound, full court, shit like that. And that's what that was. When I made Numerous, obviously that was about a mixture of words where we're talking about wanting to be brand new but still trying to deal with all the rumors from your past. So you're trying to build numerous, you know what I'm saying? You want people to start talking new stuff about you. So all that stuff was talking about, it was themed towards that. You see what I'm saying? Like where you gonna get those titles, like um can't think of none of the records right on off the back of my head, but Knights, Rivals, you know what I'm saying? Where I was like all the things that I'm going against, Knights, Rivals, Dreams, you know what I'm saying? Things like that. So even with the That's So Six album, you know what I'm saying? Like you have to pick to know. Then once you pick your theme and where you're gonna go, it's always that count. All right, how many records are we going for? Okay. Now, every artist out here, you can't say I'm going for 10 records and record 10 records. You need to record like 25, 30 records. Okay.
Yeah, and it's
Because the
true.
thing about it is vibes, variety, you have to select, you have to know, you know what I'm saying? You want to make sure you're putting the right stuff forward. And some days you may record, it ain't going to be the stuff. Some days you record, it's going to be the stuff. You got to know what your things is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you the budget that a lot of people have in studios is the reason why a lot of people do a lot of things. A lot of people don't have skills in the studios either. I know a lot of
Mm,
artists that go to the studios and do not write in the studio. They write at home. But I would ask myself, if you're writing at home and you're coming to a studio to record something that you've already written and know, then my idea in my mind when I see you doing it, you would be efficient, faster.
right. Uh-huh.
Okay, but that
That's
doesn't be the
true.
case. They're still in the studio. Like, hold on, one more time. Hold on, let me do that again. Hold on, let me do it again. Okay, a lot of artists' writing process is long. Drinking, smoking, whatever the case may be, hours build up. Me personally, I don't take that long in the studio. I only write fresh in the studio. Now, I would recommend that all artists learn how to write, right? Now,
Mm,
I get it. That's why a lot of the music that y'all hear comes out so riding down, shooting them in the face. Me and my homies, we're about to catch a case. We don't care. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's like that because they don't have any lyrical. You're trying. We can't put these people with lyrical content, right?
right.
We just put these people that get in the booth and have learned how to rhyme their stories. And is it really hard to rhyme the stories? I'm about to catch. I'm about to kill. Pop a pill. Skirt off on the bill. She got some heels, fat ass, cute waist, want a taste. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. Like, is this really hard that they're doing these days? That's why everyone is a rapper. You see what I'm saying? So, like, we're not putting lyrical contents anymore. And artists need to really go back. I'm trying to tell y'all, artists, go back and learn how to write. You know what I'm saying? There's too much stuff that you have. The Art of 16 Bars is out there. You got little writers workshops. I don't care if you go pick up a Langston Hughes, some poetry books. Pick up anything to articulate yourself so that you can stop it. So that you can stop it. But that's the second thing, or the third thing that I always go over like that. You know what I'm saying? That writing process and how I'm going to approach it. The rest is elementary because
Mm,
if you can translate what you want to a producer or composer, if you could translate what you want and how you want it to sound to your engineer, then everything else is easy. And you know why a lot of artists can't translate what they want and how they want things? Because there's a lot of artists that go into the studio and all they know is auto tune.
mm.
They don't know reverb. They don't know compression. They don't know EQing. They don't know gating. They don't know voxing. They don't know none of this stuff. So they're like, you got auto tune, and it comes out sounding like
But how are they supposed to know all of these things? They just woke up. They want to rap
but
or
but
sing.
but but like yeah, like honestly, I woke up one day and knew I wanted to drive. Right?
Mm,
I I asked to learn how to drive. When nobody taught me, I started teaching myself how to drive slowly, just up and down the street to the store. Just cool enough so my friends could see that I was driving, but not far enough that if something happened, I couldn't get out and walk back home. You know? And then eventually I made my way to the highway. And then eventually I made myself to eating and driving. You know, it's about willing to take the steps. And if you want to do it, you want to get good, you learn and you do it. I mean, I'm not gonna say I want to know how to drive and just get in that joint and just never start it up and just keep on, having everybody drive me around. You know, like, hey, Tanya, come pick me up. I'm trying to learn how to drive. You gonna drive though? I'm just gonna watch while we get there. You know, and I'm telling everybody I'm learning how to drive, y'all. I'm gonna be driving soon. I haven't gotten the driver's seat yet, but I have watched it done over and over again. I'm sure I can do it. Well, that's how all y'all look when y'all go in the studio and y'all just sitting there. And I'm like, I asked you, what did the engineer do to it? I don't know. He mixed it, didn't he? This isn't mixed. You know, he said he mastered it. I hate that one. That is the one that really blows my top. Like,
Now
like
why?
honestly, honestly, that one is the one that hurts. When people say he mastered it or this is mastered, and it's like, what does mastered mean?
Mm.
That's what I asked them. And I know they don't know. I know they don't know. And I want y'all to go ahead and Google that. That's tonight's homework. Y'all go ahead and let me know what mastering is the next Monday. Because I don't think that people even know. You know, you know what I'm saying? So they don't care. They don't care, Tanya. All they want to
I mean, but how? Well,
do
you gotta learn somewhere. You breaking
is
up?
get drop an album.
Say
Oh,
that again.
what was the last thing you heard? The
The
hardest thing to do
album.
is the hardest thing to do is drop the album. You know,
Why would you say the hardest thing to do is drop the album? I mean, all you gotta do
well,
is just go to the studio, record, get it mixed and mastered, and then
well,
you're done.
well, well. I mean, that's how you got to get the album. All that is the process of dropping the album. That's the
Mm.
hard part. Getting the album dropped, like having it mixed, mastered, properly presented with a right album cover and everything. Like if you get that part done, the rest is elementary. You know, like because a lot of people dropping music poorly mastered, poorly mixed. Album covers look like trash. I see album covers like this. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody took their Instagram picture and just threw it on the flyer. Or
Mhm.
or the worst one's a picture out of their phone. The junk be sideways and shit like that and shit. And then they got their pictures on the junk. That don't be looking
No,
so
I mean, but
disheartening to me.
that comes with investing in yourself, and nothing is free. You're gonna have to spend that money, or you're gonna have to teach yourself how to do it.
Well, like the only thing that is free is knowledge, people. Right? The only
Yeah,
thing that is free is knowledge. But what do you lose for gaining knowledge? Time.
yeah,
So there's only one thing that you have to do is you have to be fast, efficient, and you have to like not sleep to catch up and for the time that you're going to lose while learning. You got to make up for that because that's the only thing that's free. Once you learn your knowledge, well, do you really need anything else? I mean, I'm like real live at the point in my career now where I've exhausted the knowledge part. I mean, like now when I talk to people that got like deals, and when I talk to people that are trying to like about to sign deals and things like that, and I talk to execs, it's almost mind blowing to me how the conversations go nowadays. You know, I mean, I'm reminded to 10 years ago. I used to be in these same settings and look like I don't know what they're talking about. you know. But now I'm in this settings. I'm like, well, why are we doing that when we could do it this way and we can maximize it by this, and maybe if we do that, we could go around doing that. They're like, oh, we didn't think of it this way, because at the end of the day, we all have accepted technology has made things easier for us. So it stopped making us do the things that really put people on or really put people in position. Like the hi, how you doing today? Nice to meet you. I'm Success. I would like to. That part. You
Mhm.
people don't even say hello and good morning anymore before you send a link.
Nope.
There's no handshakes anymore. Well, I know COVID has stopped
Nope.
all the handshaking, but there's no salutes and greetings and salutations and stuff like that. There's no support. There's no love. There's no, hey, I, s- I like what you guys are doing. It's great what you're doing. It's just,
Yeah.
hey, check me out. I'm lit.
Yep. Mhm.
Like, did you see the show last week? No.
Who are you?
You know, it's
But
hard to ask me to do something like that. You know, ask me to do something free.
where you go? You said it's artists that what?
And
Say that one more
when they
time.
ask you to play, they
It's
ask you
artists that what?
they ask you to play music. The artists that ask you to play their music and don't even listen to the station.
Yeah.
You know, and you're like, did you listen today? Were you tuned in today? And they're like, yeah, I was listening. So you heard your record played, or didn't you? You know, like it's like what's happening out here.
Yeah.
Like I get so irritated now, right? I get so irritated with the way that everybody's trying to move nowadays. Everybody's trying to figure out a way to cheat the bear, or go around, what we call protocol. Everybody wants to be the big fish, or everybody is the star off the breaks. There's no more hype men anymore. Where does the hype men go, Jezebel? I'm sorry. Where the
Nobody.
where are the
Everybody's
hype men? Where,
similar.
where
Everybody's
are the people that's like, let me hype my man up. Let me get on stage and hype my man up. Do those exist
I
anymore?
mean, yeah. Shout out to Is.
It's all new artists. It's all new artists dropping. Well, is dropping an album soon.
Yeah.
Is has presented a challenge to Old Success. He said he gonna drop some fire, and Old Success is ready for that.
Is the best hype man out there, man. He don't even have to know you. Like, I'm sure he probably heard the song before. He definitely like is a supporter of
I saw,
all independent
I
artists.
saw look, what show my man was at. I didn't even know he was in the building, and I'm performing. I turned around, he was right there. We getting it in. He was sweaty and everything. I said, "Oh hell yeah, we turning up."
Definitely. But
You know,
like you said, everybody wants to be the star, and it's really, I mean, I mean, it's just,
yeah. Well, like I know you haven't been on Facebook, but I have been cutting up on Facebook lately. I issued a
uh-huh.
challenge to all the artists to step on stage with me. I didn't feel like any artist could actually step on stage with me at this point. I feel like I'm like on another plateau right now, right? So
When
of
you say
course it's
step
like
on stage, what you mean step on stage? Like,
bring their best show. Let's get it. Let's do a show on stage. I don't do battles and verses and stuff like that, right? A lot of people
mm,
have asked me to do verses and battles. I refuse to do those. And let me explain to y'all why I refuse to do those as nicely as possible. But it wouldn't be fair for me to do verses against a lot of artists that have the artists that have presented me with the challenge. It wouldn't be fair for me to do verses against. And I'm not a bully, right? And I'm not a nice guy either when it comes to competition.
mm,
So I'm not about to embarrass my friends, and I'm not about to embarrass another artist out there that's really trying and really doing his thing. Now, when I tell it to a lot of artists that like the way that I work and have worked in this music industry, I have made myself like a different. I've slept, eat, and breathed nothing but music business. You know, I have sacrificed what a lot of people will not sacrifice: man hours, livelihood to do these things. I mean, you like when I hear people say, when I hear artists say, I couldn't do this because my family, I had to do this with my family. That makes me cringe, right? Now, I understand. I want y'all to understand. I love y'all, and I want y'all to have y'all families and stuff like that, and you need that. But y'all have to understand something. What is a man in the military? He goes away from his family for months at a time to make sure his family's good. A doctor left their family for years, college, residencies, to make sure their family's good. A lawyer, the same. A real businessman, an entrepreneur, anybody that you look up to,
Yep.
sacrificed man hours. You don't think they miss birthdays, celebrations, congratulation moments? These are trade-offs that you have to do. If you want to, if you want to be the top of whatever you want to be, I would tell you, don't call off the work because it's your birthday. Go to work. You can be the boss. Don't call off because it's your mom's birthday. Go to work.
Nobody. I mean, maybe if it's somebody else's birthday. I mean, I'm just, no, don't listen to me. But no, realistically though, I understand what you're saying. It's sacrifice, and I always took off the work for my
You always call off on your birthday.
I've always had, but I also had jobs that give you personal days, and my personal day would be my birthday.
Now, look, honestly, there has been jobs where I have never called off. There's some jobs where I've called off whenever I felt like it. Every job that I've never called off, I got promotions like it was nothing, even on my birthday. Usually, those jobs paid me a lot of money, and I did whatever I wanted to do while I was at work. Right? But of
Yeah,
course, so like the thing about it is, you have to love what you do. Period. A lot of rappers do. A lot of artists do not love the music. They just feel like
wait.
it's
You can love what you do, but you have to be committed to what you do, because that's
yeah,
what that is. Commitment and making
yeah.
sacrifices is committing to what you ultimately want to do. Um,
Everybody
and
thinks the sacrifices is
yeah,
cutting a chicken or killing your loved ones. That's what everybody thinks the sacrifice is.
no,
And I
it's
told somebody, I said the sacrifice is made long before you have to cut a chicken or kill one of your loved ones. Well before that, you know,
it's not
like
being
you
able
have to
to do what you
sacrifice.
want. It's not being able to do what you want to do in order to do what you need to do.
Exactly. And like I get so worried about a lot of artists because I I realize that what I'm doing, even with this show right here, you know what I'm saying? I'm taking a chance to put y'all in a position to be on what we would call even ground, even playing field. Y'all want to start receiving royalties? Well, I told y'all how to do that. Y'all want to
Yep.
start getting paid for your performances? Well, I've told you how to do that. Y'all want to learn how to put out music the right way and generate money off of that? Well, I've told y'all how to do that. You want to get your numbers up and start getting booked for shows? I've told y'all how to do that.
We told you how to do that as well.
Well, now I'm in the midst of all of y'all, and it doesn't fear me none
Mm.
because I understand that this isn't a piece of something. This is a big piece of a pie. Like this is a whole piece that we all can have a piece of. Whoever don't choose to eat doesn't matter to me none. I'm gonna still get fat. Apparently, I've gained almost 20 pounds.
Mhm.
And y'all don't get me wrong. I'm trying to lose this 20 pounds, America. Y'all got to bear with me. I'm trying to lose it, but it don't seem to be going nowhere.
Gotta move
You know,
around.
like I'm learning so much working in radio though.
Mm,
You know, and I like today we wanted to talk about albums and putting out albums and that the stuff like that.
hmm.
Um, now the question that you had was how was your specific question, Jezebel?
Oh, okay. So for those of you that have been watching, this may just be a recap for you guys, but I kind of wanted to take it back to the basics because we do have some new people here. And basically the idea is you created your album. You're finished creating the music. You have your whole list together of how you're going to organize your music. And this is your first time making an album. So now what? This is for like the beginning artists and even those who have been doing this but have not been doing your paperwork. So, what are the key things that you need to know in the music
Well,
business
let's.
and starting your music career as an independent artist?
Well, I'm gonna tell everybody. First thing that if you're gonna start this business, first learn your PROs, learn about publishing administration, learn about publishing. Right? These are the main three things.
Main three things.
Red in the face. Look, what's the saying? Blue in the face. I want to say that. I can say this till I'm red in the face. Y'all got to understand your publishing, your publishing administration, and your PROs, performance rights organizations. Now,
Mhm.
now that you've finished your album and assuming that you've registered it all up nice and you've packaged it all up nice and you've done those things of gotten it mixed, you've gotten it mastered. Well, now what? Well, now the fun part. It's time to hit the road.
Mm,
Then I'm gonna tell y'all, a lot of y'all look at this hitting the road thing like it's impossible. But I need
right.
y'all to understand this breakdown here, right? Why your
Mhm.
album needs to hit the road is because you need to be on the road performing your records. That's how you
Right.
generate stock. This how you generate credits for yourself. This how you generate your following as well. But of course, y'all look at if I tell you that you can go on a 20 city tour, you look at me like I was crazy. Well, what if
I
I told you
wouldn't.
how to go on a 20 city tour? Or to think about it, like what are 20 cities? And I need y'all to pull out your LSN or your social studies or whatever it is you took that taught you cities, states, counties, countries, and continents and all that shit. Now, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. It wasn't one of my greatest studies. It wasn't one of my greatest fields, right? I think I barely
Mhm.
learned all 50 states, but I knew there were 50. Okay, and I barely learned continents and countries and things like that, but I knew there was a lot. But
Yeah.
thank God for Google because now I know exactly how many countries there are and continents and things like that. Thanks to my old Siri pal here, she tells me everything I need to know. But y'all, I need y'all to look at your top Google and look at the top cities near you. And I guarantee you that you can find at least 20 within your state.
Now,
Now,
how do you feel? How do you feel about before we even get into that? How do you feel about because I don't hear a lot of people talking about trademarking their name, copyright, and their
wow.
their
That's
song.
that's a that's a whole nother show right there, Jezebel.
Mm. Because
Like that.
the reason I ask is because it's like it's similar to creating a business and not trademarking your business name. Someone could come
Yep.
along and trademark it, and now all the work that you've done, I mean, unless you're going to fight them for it, goes in vain. Kind of, so you got to sue them. Who was it that
Yep.
went through that? It was an artist. I think someone bought her name. It wasn't. What
Well,
was
I
it?
know Blue
Someone else.
Ivy, Jay Z and them named their baby Blue Ivy, and the lady tried to sue them because it was her company name.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
and yeah, like it's crazy because, but you're right. Trademarking is something that's very important, but like y'all, that's when you're ready to start branding yourself and branding yourself is way more different than just making music and putting it out there. You know, that's like the next level when you saying, "All right, I'm serious. I know what I mean, that's why you see my logo here, my logo here, and pretty much my website. You see my logo and things like that. That's branding. Making sure when people see something,
They
they
know.
know you. Now,
Yeah.
of course, in the music industry, it's very important because once you start making money off your name, everybody in the world gonna want to be you. That's why Instagram made that little blue check,
Yep.
so people can know who the real you is. But
Hmm.
yeah, that's another show right there. And that show right there, we need to we're gonna have to do like a series on a two-part series on trademarking and copyrighting your name and your image and your likeness. Especially
Yeah.
with now they got NILs and things like that from people. Man, shoot. Y'all
Hmm.
better learn
But
brand
back,
ambassadors and stuff like that.
mhm. but back to porn, and you was telling them that they just Google or just look at a map and mark your surrounding cities, and
Yeah,
you were
we all
saying
wa-
to
we
look.
we all have documentaries. Y'all go back and watch that Motown documentary. Watch the Temptation documentary. Watch those old documentaries of the '70s, right? Because, like I said, technology has made y'all forget that how people really became who they are. Technology that made y'all think y'all famous because you got 100,000 or 200 million damn streams or views. You're not famous. I mean, listen. Do you know how many people got almost 200 million streams or views and I never heard of them?
Mm,
Never heard of them.
that's
Doesn't
that's
matter. And listen, y'all. For y'all to be like, yeah, just because you never heard of them, don't mean nothing. Okay, there's people that you've never heard of that has billions and millions of streams and stuff like that, or views, or dollars. I mean, if you look at half of y'all think the billionaires are just Bill Gates and Warren Buffett.
mhm.
He found out they like teens on us. They in the teens. You like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, it's all these people.
Hmm.
So, like, at the end of the day, y'all have to understand, touring has always I'm gonna speak that till I'm blue in the face. Has always been the way to get after your album done. I mean, what else you gonna do with it? You want to sit on it? Why else are you making the music? Are you not ready to perform?
No,
Now I
you're
get
gonna
it.
post it on World Star. You're gonna post it on YouTube.
Oh
You're gonna promote it on Instagram.
man, World
You're gonna
Star.
promote it on Facebook. You're just gonna stay home. You're not gonna go to no local clubs. You're just gonna promote it on social media. That's the way to
Like
get famous.
I want to put something on World Star just for the negative comments to come in.
Mm.
Like I think you go to World Star only to see like how bad people can really talk about you. I don't really think anybody goes to World Star to really make it. I think they just go there to be seen and get slandered. It's like a roast. World Star is like a roast. You have to
But
drop.
one person that rare. I don't think he. I don't remember if he really performed was like that. Was that Soldier Boy? Didn't he just
Well,
make it simply off of the internet?
Soldier Boy toured for a long time.
Oh,
He went
okay.
across the seas. He went across
Mhm.
seas. Soldier Boy made $25 million off his first record.
And
He
is that
good.
before he blew up? Because I think a lot of people's misconception is I don't have to do anything until I blow up. Once I blow up, then I'm gonna start traveling. But until then,
Right.
I'm just gonna make these records and I'm just gonna put them out, and yeah, somebody's gonna come find
But
me.
like I said though, right? So those people are the people that feel like technology has taken over when it hasn't, right? Because the footwork has to be done for you to tell people to go to your social media now. Even if you can't spam people, you can't even just send people like just random stuff and just think that they're gonna look at it and hope that they look at it, right? And now Instagram got this whole new section where I don't even have to look in it, and it can have about 100 messages in there. I don't even ever
Yep.
have to look at it to disrupt my normal messaging that I get every day.
Yep.
So I mean, like they're losing the whole gusto of that, the whole point of making this music. Now I get it. You think someone's gonna find you? Like I said, did that happen? If someone wants to tell me when someone just found them, because the guy that found Soldier Boy didn't just find Soldier Boy, right? Soldier Boy's working, and this guy having young kids, and his kids can't do nothing but you know what I'm saying? Now,
Mm,
before Soldier Boy blew up, Soldier Boy was touring very, very heavy. Now, my wife is from Georgia. Okay. Now, I was privy to see the fanship of Soldier Boy before he blew up. All her little
mm,
cousins were wearing the glasses with Soldier Boy
mm,
on them well before DC or the DMV area had even heard of him. They
mm,
were coming up here playing Soldier Boy music, um, when you was like, who is this guy? Why y'all playing this? You know what I'm saying? So it's about Georgia, California, and kind of New York, but not really New York. But Georgia and California are two states that you can control those states and hit about 100 cities. You know that? And Georgia is a state where you can hit at least 50 popping cities.
mm.
50 popping cities is enough to make you a star. 50 cities knowing who you are? What?
Yeah. And that's what a lot of people don't attack. They don't attack the surrounding cities up here because we're so close to Baltimore. We're so close to Delaware. We're so close to Philly, Pittsburgh, Jersey.
Uh,
You got Atlantic City side. You got Newark side.
yeah,
You got
look,
New
you
York,
got uptown
all
artists.
boroughs,
You got uptown
Buffalo.
artists that won't perform in Southeast.
I mean, no, that kills me right there. If you beefing that hard that you can't perform, how far do you expect your music career to go?
Hello. Can we get an amen? Because you know
Like,
what? I often ask that question with a lot of the artists that I gotta choose how I want to say this, that affiliate themselves with that, right?
mm, mm,
That type of lifestyle, violence, beefing, and things like that. I often wonder, where are they coming off and getting their synopsis? Because I'm like, if you're beefing with everyone, where can we go? And I mean, listen, there is a such thing as fake beef, right? In the industry, there is a such thing as fake beef. There is a such thing as industry generated beefs, right? But y'all have to understand is those don't end safely when fans become emotionally attached to the beef. See, so that's how all the bad beefs end badly, when you create the culture for the fans to become emotionally attached in it as well. To when they see you now, they want to do something.
and then
You know,
I
I
think
mean,
a lot of them get mistaken with like the celebrities that are beefing and all the heavy security and protocols that they take even while um
hello.
they're not there yet.
No, they're not there yet. They're not there yet. And the thing about it is, they too scared to pull a Chief Keef and run to LA and stay there. You know what I'm saying? They too scared to pull, you know what I'm saying, shit like that, where artists get into beefs in new cities and got the capital to go to a whole nother city, whole nother
Mhm.
state, far, far away, and now they just talking shit across, whatever. Like, and honestly, the inner city beefs are getting too glamorized by people like academics and stuff like that, so they make it too pressure. They make too much pressure for you to not be involved in it. I mean, could you imagine sitting at home one day and you hear, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. There's this beef going on down in DC. Rapper Success and Tanya are beefing right now, and they say when they see each other, they're going to kill each other, and for sure, it's going to be a bloody bath in DC if they two see each other. And we get a chance to see that shit, and we're like, yeah, you heard what they said about me? When they see me, I'm going downtown. You know what I'm saying? And your
Mm,
people feel the same way. And the thing about it is, what people don't understand is, like, this rapper, this other guy said to me online last week. He said that he's going to pull up to my show and slap me in the face.
no.
Yes,
I, is this real life?
this was in real life in my on my Facebook thread. He wanted to
What the
pull up on he wanted to pull up on me to my show and slap me in my face. Now, I found it hilarious. My friends did not. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hell?
did not find that shit hilarious at all. In fact, they already they got screenshots of the guy. Niggas that found out where the guy stay, what hood he's in, and I'm sitting there like, bro, like he's not gonna slap me. They like, nah, fuck it, he should have said it. You know? So it's like I had to tell him, I'm like, look, bro, you can, say whatever you want online, but don't threaten me because it's people that don't play about that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like when you start thinking about it, that's how a lot of these rappers are. There's people that won't play about them because you know what these people are. They're like, if a nigga is about to get all of us out the hood, you think we about to let you play with him? He about to move all of us up. You ain't about to play with that. Not the bag. And the
Not the bad.
reality of it is, that's how this game works. Because if you mess up a nigga's bag, they gonna mess up your bag. And it's gonna be a
Mm,
continued rotation of it. But yes, Jessica, let me tell you, I wanted to talk about that last week on the show, but we had a great guest in Pro Da Vinci, you know.
mm,
And shout out my man Pro Da Vinci, great guest. And shout out Beezy too for having that great venue last week. I liked it. And you still using it, which is a great look. And when I come back to DC, I'll probably come back in April. We're gonna do something crazy big. But yes, I've been making a lot of people mad on Facebook lately, and I have been pushing the boundaries of systematic hate. I'm gonna start using that word now because it's systematic racism and it's systematic hate. They put us against each other every day, and y'all eat it up. And I get it. You don't have to agree with everything that your counterpart says, but sometimes it doesn't hurt to just give a congratulations to a person as opposed to trying to diminish someone's accolades. I mean, like, does it hurt to big up people, or does it hurt to like look at your world around you and see that it's growing and it's evolving and it's becoming bigger and better than we could have ever imagined? I mean, like, come on, people. Can we just be like, look,
I don't understand the haterade, so I can't drink that
the
juice.
hate? What's gonna happen if you keep fueling hate? It's gonna get bigger.
Yep.
I mean, like, of course, when the guy said he was gonna smack me, he told me he feels like advances are loans.
They are. Aren't they? That's how I feel about it.
From the
Did you hear me?
huh? Yeah.
Did you hear what I said?
No, go ahead.
I said I
No, what
thought
you saying?
advances from the record label, right? Are loans.
Yes,
That's how I understood
and
it.
that's what he thought. That's what he thought, and that is also how he understood it. But then we had to like break it down in retrospect of what a loan really is, Jezebel. Right
Mhm.
now, a loan is someone giving you money to do what you need to do to get done what you need to get done, and it doesn't have to be any service to them, any work to them. You just have to pay them back.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? So
okay. When you
why
say
I argue with an advance being a loan is that basis right there. alone. You see what I just did right there?
Mhm.
I said the reason why I battle that an advance is alone is on that status right there alone. You see that? I did it again. But what I said is that if if you hire me to work on this show, right?
Mhm.
And let's just say you say, look, Success, I want you on the show for 3 years. I want you to be here every Monday, and I want to make sure that you right. And I say to you, well, in order to be right, I got to make sure I got this, I got this, I got that. You say, here's 100,000, here's 200,000, and we straight. Okay. Now you've given me my advance on what you were going to pay me. Let's say it was for 2 years, 3 years, or the whole 4 years. You've given me my advance on that. Now, what are we talking about? I've already been paid to work the 3 years. Now I'm just doing my job that I've already been paid to do. Should I come to you in 3 years and say, hey, can I get paid again? I mean, that's
No,
kind of
but
what people expect it from the
I,
industry, from the label is.
you're right about that.
No, we renegotiate. We say I'll
Mhm.
do another 3 years for another
Mhm.
300,000, or another 3 years for 600,000 or a million, based on whatever. And if you're happy with my services after the first 3 years, you have the right to say, yeah, I'll give you a million, but I want 7 years. I want 10 years now, or whatever the case may be. And I have the right to say, okay, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Like this isn't no,
Okay.
this isn't a trick of this isn't
No,
some sneaky little thing happening.
but when you say
My
it
bro,
that way, now I understand what you mean by it's not the difference between a loan and an advance. I'm just thinking, you know, that eventually the person needs to get their money's worth back. So,
yeah, they're gonna get it back. You best believe me. They're gonna put you on the road. They're gonna have you at the stage. They're gonna have you press shoots, videos, movies, TVs, and you're gonna sit there and you're gonna be like, huh. And the only thing that you can really ask yourself when these things are happening is, how much am I being paid for this? Right? Because then surely if someone says, well, we paying you a million for this show, then obviously if you know you only been paid 400,000 that as your advance, then you know you've paid it back with your million. So obviously, but if you're not asking those questions, then what are we talking about? Right? And if you
right.
only get it $400,000 as an advance, you're not bringing in $1 million yet. They're trying to get you to the point where you can, so that they don't, so that they can make money with you, and no longer be fucking fronting you. Now you guys are getting money together, right?
Got
So like that's why I challenged them on this, and I said like, my brother got a job. This came to me. This happened to me because I work with a label, but my brother got a job, and he really was like, look, I can't get to work for the first 2 weeks. What are y'all gonna do? And the job gave him an advance to get to work for the next 2 weeks until he got his first check.
mm,
And they took it out of his first check, and everything
mhm,
was good. And I said to myself, wait a minute, that's what an advance is. I didn't know what PTO was until I started talking to like important job people. I was like, wait, you get PTO? What is
yeah.
that? You know, I'll use my PTO. I thought they was like, I'm a street nigga. I thought they was talking about like someone that tells them what to do and watches over them. You know, like a PO or some sort. You know, just at work.
Mhm,
You know, so I
yeah.
didn't know. But when I learned that, I started saying to myself, if I ever was to work, I want a job with PTO and I can get an advance. I want these things, right? So what's the difference between the record label? It's a job. We talk about this every week. I tell
Mhm,
people, stop listening to people who are not. Listen, if a person is telling you that he's not in the industry, he just knows people, y'all don't
mhm,
have to listen to him. He doesn't have the right to tell you what to do to be a star, or to be
mhm,
popping, or to be on, or to get
mhm,
checks. And especially damn sure if they asking you to pay them, you
mhm.
damn sure better run. If a person is asking you to pay them for you to be right, run, run. Like paying for services and things like that is different than paying a person, and I need people to understand that. All right. If a person tells you he's putting you in magazines and he's putting you on interviews and he's putting you on the radio and things like that, if you fact checked them and you've done your research and you're paying for services, that's one thing. And don't sit up there, people. Don't ask how much you make and all this other stuff to a person that's charging services. You wouldn't ask the lawn man how much you just ask him how much he charged to cut your grass.
Uh-huh.
You wouldn't ask him how much was the gas in your lawnmower and how much gas did you use. And you wouldn't ask him that. You just ask how much to cut the grass. And I mean, listen, all y'all walking around here want to be indie. These are things that y'all have to do. Y'all don't understand this. You can't sit around here and be like, I'm indie. Because what you're saying is, when I hear I'm indie, I hear I'm a boss. When I hear I'm indie, I hear I make decisions. So then when I ask you things or when we talking and you don't know these things, I hear you're failing. Because if you're indie and you don't have your own PRO, or you don't know who your PRO is. A lot of artists I've seen say, hey, help me sign up with ASCAP. And we signed them up with ASCAP, come to find out they were BMI already and didn't even know. And
Yeah.
it's like, that is like really weird to me. You know, there's a lot of artists that don't know anything and then call yourselves indie. You're not indie. You're looking for a situation. You should be walking up to other people and asking people, hey, can I rap with you? Can I get behind you? Can I? Y'all are too busy out here talking about my new label,
Mhm.
Dangerous Minds Records, coming soon. I'm sitting there
No,
like, what is this? What is this record? What is
no,
this
no, no.
record label?
My favorite is my PRO is United
Oh my God.
Masters.
So let me tell
that's
y'all,
that's
I had
that's
someone
the
literally
most
just say that to.
popular
I
one.
had somebody literally just say that to me, and I thought I was gonna go to jail. Do you understand? Like, I really don't understand. I really thought I was gonna get locked up for when he said that to me, right? Because if I wanted to do that scene from Ghost Dad when he went through the phone and choked the hell out of the person. He says I'm with being. He says I'm with United Masters. I don't need a PRO. I'm good.
I mean, that's the most popular answer I've received, and I'm like, half the time I'm recording, so I don't really want to embarrass anyone. So I just kind of wait till later and then correct them and be like,
Nah, like I'm gonna be like I'm. Listen, I always be like, first of all, that's not the same thing. You have to stop them. You gotta hit them with the first of all. Those two got nothing to do with each other, but it is cool. And second of all, I would leave you not the masses if I was you. That's what I always tell them. I know right now the owner of United Masters hates me. I knew he hated me when he just sent me a little small check to shut me up. He sent me hush money. And I'm sitting there like, I'm not gonna hush. I want to still tell people that you are taking the broadcasting royalties. You have no right to
Mhm.
be taking 100% of anybody's publishing administration. You have no right. That is against the U.S. law, people. And I know y'all think that old success be talking old anything, but I'm just telling y'all, if you gonna let that person take 100% of your money, well, then be my guest. Go ahead, be cool with it. Now, do you hear Kanye West to start his own digital platform?
Yes, isn't that what he released Donda 2 on? No, no, no. Hold on.
Yes.
You said streaming platform or that little device thing?
He's actually going to turn that device into its own personal streaming platform.
Mm, I hope he
Now,
does.
I gotta tell y'all, I like things that Kanye West does, right? But that to me is like, okay, Kanye, for what? You want us to just start going to the Kanye app? Okay, cool. I get it. We're gonna all just start downloading the Kanye app. But who gonna drop their music on the Kanye West app?
Everybody, just like how they drop it on Spotify, Title, iTunes, and all of that,
Are
and
they?
Apple.
Are
I
they?
mean, you
Are
should
they?
be able to.
Are they? Are they? Are
I
they?
mean, if he gives an incentive to the first 100, to the first 50 artists that drop their
Give me
music
a
on
good
there,
incentive. Give me a good incentive, and we can pitch it to Ye for his
a
new streaming
feature,
platform.
a feature on his next album.
Oh hell nah! You know how he do them features. They may not never come out. He ain't gonna do me like he did Soldier Boy. Nah, I need need something else. I'm gonna need something else, Shay. I'm gonna need something else.
I
I'm gonna need
mean,
something else.
look, now you asking for too much.
I mean, look. That's what I'm saying, man. I'm gonna go ahead and stick to my platform, Spotify, iTunes. I do drop on title, but I hate it. Like, I don't even know. Like, I have one friend. I literally have one friend that says to me, "Hey, I have title and I have your playlist. It's amazing, right?" And I'm like, "Dang, bro, thanks. I didn't even know you had title." But I know he bought my albums off of it, all three of them. Why haven't title paid me for my three albums yet? Why I gotta wait a year to get my three album?
I don't know. That's a good question. I keep saying I'm gonna download it.
Y'all out there, that's petty. $50 is petty. $50 what? Listen, $50 an album that's $30. That's petty. That's petty to ask for $30 from title. But the question is, why hasn't title relinquished me for my $30?
So where is your money? Like where is
She
it?
about asking about the $30. That's right.
Where
That's right.
where's your
Let's
money?
ask title. Where is it? Where's the money, title? Where's the money? Well, based on the time they bought it, I should be getting it in about December because they bought it last December.
December. Mm.
Say for sure, man. What I do know is I ain't seen a dime of it. I don't really care because I don't be watching streaming money or platform money like that.
Cause the
Like when
man that's
it
asking
comes,
for
y'all.
is $30.
I
He
know it
said,
ain't in there. I, I checked my statements. I never seen title on it. I seen Spotify, I seen
mm,
Apple and YouTube. I haven't seen title on my. I seen Google Play as well, but I have not seen title on my statement yet, y'all. So
mm,
we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna ask Jigga. We're gonna ask Jigga, my nigga Jigga. Sorry, pops, but I'm not gonna lie to y'all, man. Like you can't in the music industry for real. It's not about chasing coins. It's about maximizing your catalogs, maximizing your value. I mean, like I got 353 songs in my catalog. I've written over 500 songs, but you know how that goes. We write a lot of songs for a lot of people. A lot of songs don't go to my catalog. They go to other people's catalog. But the beauty of it is when you learn this stuff, like I tell people, what are your hours? What are your writing hours? A lot of people's first albums be their first 10 songs that they ever written. And it's like, these your first songs? Hmm. I would have won I would have imagined what to hear after your second your next 10 or your next 30. I mean, when me and my brother first started rapping, we literally sat in the studio every day. We had so much music. We recorded over 40 songs and was like, hey, let's start dropping these 10 by 10.
mm.
Let's see what happens.
So what's your cutting
Like
process
trial and
like?
error before.
What's your cutting process like? Like how do you decide what makes the cut and what doesn't make the cut out of your catalog?
Woo! So, like, one of my friends got into my car and said to me these words that I hate to hear any artist say. And if you say these words to me, then I'm going to really question your music. But he said, I get tired of hearing myself. Right?
Mhm,
If I play a song for, let's say, 3 months, 4 months straight, if I have an album and I usually start putting the playlist together as I'm making the album, if there's one song on it that I start skipping, getting tired of hearing, it don't make the album. Realistically, I make my albums years in advance. Like I
mm.
already have my next album already ready. I'm still riding around to it to make sure that I don't get bored with it. Because my thing is, if I get bored with it, what do I expect y'all to do? Get bored with it. Now, me personally, I do hold myself to high standards. So I feel like if I don't get bored with it, y'all are not going to get bored with it. You know, because I get bored easily. Like I
What is it
get bored quick.
mm. And I'm thinking,
That's
are
my
you saying
process.
like you continuously skip it or just this day you just don't feel like hearing it so now?
Nah, like if I go, like I said, I'm driving around with the album for months. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Or sometimes 6 months to a year before I drop it. So
mm,
in that instance, if let's say I done played it 4 straight times and I get tired of hearing that one song, That song has got to go, and it's time for me to replace that song with something that's gonna be on point, you know. Um, and that's usually where you start going on to the cutting board, because now you already know where you're going. You know what hole you taking out. Let's say I've taken out a song that's may have been a vibe song. Then now
Mhm,
I know I gotta go in here and make a vibe song that fits that's fitting with these modes,
mhm,
and sometimes it may work out better. Now let me tell you another thing though, because sometimes songs may not need to be cut, but another song may need to be added before or after to make the song relevant.
right. Mhm,
Is the math thinking, right? That's when you started to think above, like when you start to think for your fans, and when you start to think for your people, and when you start to think above and beyond yourself. Because going on to a record and saying, you know what, maybe the record is not good because the song before it is not the right song, or the song after it is not the right song, but I know this order is the right order. I need to put something in to make this story come together. I need to put
mhm.
something in it to make it all make sense. I'll tell another secret that I learned in writing. Album class, when you're reading it down, should kind of tell a story.
Right.
You know, I mean, if you look at, I don't know, somebody's album, but it starts off with the interlude. You know,
Mhm,
I mean, then from there it's the intro record. Then the follow up from the intro record, and then now you get into the finally now you're probably into the hit of the album. You know, the hit
That's
record
usually number
and
song
stock.
song number 3 or 5. It's something about
Yeah.
odd numbers and albums that I realize it, most of the like good records are
Yes.
odd.
That may be some type of numerology thing. Title has a payout threshold before they issue the payment. Well, yeah, Title's payout threshold is $50. However, they are through. If you go through your distribution, then it's just a 8 to 12 month payout that you have to wait. And they'll accumulate that in those 8 to 12 months. But I'm gonna tell y'all one day. I'm gonna tell y'all about publishing administrators and how that works, and it's gonna change the way you look at all of this distribution stuff, right? Because
Mhm,
now we're in a beautiful world where I want y'all to go out. I've been telling y'all, get your publishing companies
mhm. Get your publishing company.
and bold. You know what I'm saying? And it's about to open up everything for all artists, because the record labels realize the same things that y'all realize. Nobody wants to come to them anymore. So how can they do this differently? Well, they're gonna start buying these platforms. Like you see, Interscope has already bought Spin Up. Sony has already bought TuneCore. Then you got another company in negotiations with buying um, DistroKid. You got Universal and stuff like that going into the platforms. But in the year 2024, there's going to be an artist running around saying, I'm signed to Universal or I'm signed to Sony, right? And when you scroll down, you're going to see that all this shit says DistroKid or TuneCore. And you're going to be like, wait a
Uh-huh.
minute. What are you doing? I thought you were signed. It's not going to say anything like Sony ATV or Sony Music or nothing, because these artists are not even caring about this anymore. An artist will take a deal with Sony Orchid and tell me that he's big shit and spit in my face.
I
You
mean,
know,
a
and I'm
deal
like,
is a deal.
yes. Listen, let's. Can we get the claps? Can we get the claps for that? A deal is a deal.
Um,
Yes. And I like to draw my attention to the artist that told me last year that he signed a deal for $10,000, and I wanted to reach through my phone and smack that artist because I've recently seen that artist and he's working a regular job now. And I don't know
Mhm.
how or what the deal was, but I know it was a bad one. I know another artist that signed a publishing deal, and I'm just thinking to myself, congratulations on your deal. Like a lot. She said this. She said I have a publishing deal with Sony, and I said congratulations, but she's looking for jobs. You know what I'm saying? All every day, all day long, asking is anybody hiring? I'll fill out an application today. I can walk in and work right now. You know, and I mean I get this, but I'm just trying to understand what are y'all doing out here? Are y'all just signing deals to be better than me? Are you signing deals to be better than me? Or are you signing them because you really know what you're doing right now? I mean, listen, guys. I get it. We all want to be signed to somebody. Like it's like that world famous song. Sometimes you want to go where everybody know your name. I
Yeah.
get that. But a lot of y'all are trying to skip this process. A lot of y'all want to be Michael Jackson, since we talking about Michael Jackson, without performing at all the strip clubs and getting all the coins and change thrown at you. Didn't y'all see the American Dream movie? When he had to be up there singing all night, all day, barely could stay awake. He was a little boy. And Joe
Mhm.
had him out there all night performing. But y'all just want to sit out there, Joe, to tell me you the next Michael Jackson. And I haven't even seen you on U Street.
Mhm.
But hey, who am I? Who am I, right? Because I'm not the standard for what gets you signed. I only see what the standard is to get signed. And to the smart asses that ask me why am I not signed, how do you know I'm not? How do you know I am? Why do you care if I'm signed or not? I'm not telling y'all how to sign a deal or not to sign a deal. I'm telling y'all that you gotta have your business in order so that you won't need a deal. And if you sign a deal, you know get yourself screwed over and be telling everybody pulling a Meek Mill on everybody. Because see, did you see what Meek Mill's artist did to him recently?
No.
Well,
What happened?
Meek Mill's artist reached out to me on Twitter and said it's amazing how you sit online and you talk about how your label is not paying you a dime, yet you haven't taken care of our business correctly. Oh, drop the mic. While Meek Mill asked him, why did I have to go to social media with this?
He
You
said,
know, some
"What? I like how
he,
you do it, but you haven't had to what?" Wait a minute.
yeah, yeah, he said Meek Mill ain't handling his business with his label. They ain't been paid either. Dream Chasers have not been paid.
Why he
Now,
out
this
here
person
screaming?
says, now I know that this person is an idiot in our comments, but whoever this is,
Did
I
you see? I was I'm trying to just act like I didn't, but I was sitting here stuck because I'm like, am I serious? I mean, is this serious right now?
this is a clown. That's why he have a clown face on. Right there. And I'm gonna take 5 minutes if I can to go ahead and roast this idiot in the daggone comments. Like you need to get out of the comments, get off the just go ahead and leave the show with a name like that. It's not even John, like it's not even funny. Don't everybody even want you here. Don't everybody even know why your name is like that. And I'm gonna report you after the joint. So I don't even know what that dude is hitting on right there. I don't know what is
Where
wrong
did
with
he?
America. What is wrong with America? They fired us because we they fired us because we live. But that is an
But
amazing. That is a
yeah, that's crazy that somebody would actually that would actually be like a YouTube name. But let's not give him no attention because let's
yeah.
all
They
just
need to demonize it. That's what they need to do. Get it off there. But I'm gonna report it after the show, so it's gonna be gone. But I tell you one thing for sure.
you and I was like, because I'm squinting. I'm like, am I seeing it? Man,
Yeah, people do anything for attention. I tell you like what I'm learning and being becoming successful, right? People do anything for attention,
yeah,
whether it be
everybody.
good, bad, or indifferent. And the saddest part about it is There is no real policing to anything other than when you start making money off of it. You know what I'm saying? Like you could be as stupid, as ignorant, as dumb as you want to be, and nobody cares if you're not making no money. When you broke, you could be whatever you want to be. It's like, let them have something. They broke, they useful. Let's let them live. We'll tax them when they start making some money. We're gonna make them pay for being idiots. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just like, ugh, man. But anywho, like
Not
I'm
the Meek
saying,
Mills and his camp calling
his
him out.
artist, yeah, called him out about it because he hasn't been paying his artists. Now, what's hilarious is that is a direct result because he's been complaining about his labels not paying him. And I'm sitting here like, Meek have been in too many deals. This is now his third or fourth record deal, and you don't got the logistics yet. Well, what's really crazy is the logistics are not with artists. I don't think that artists are using these label ploys. I think it's more publicity, you know? Because what happens after he calls out Atlantic? They only signed three new artists. What's happening? They go in there, they all go in there and say, I don't want the Meek deal.
Oh,
You know, like I don't, that's
no.
the only thing I don't want. Just don't give me the Meek deal. You know, we all want to pull the Kanye West and say, "Give me 50 million or I'ma quit." You know what I'm saying? But
Mhm,
let's just be real. Like when you start building up your status, building up your name, you can ask and demand anything you want, and that's real. As long as you got all your paperwork in order, because a lot of artists keep telling me, a lot of artists go to label meetings and then they come to me and say the label said my numbers aren't right. You know, and um I know y'all. I know y'all don't understand what that means, and I need y'all artists to understand something. Having millions of streams, no monthly listeners, and no engagement and stuff like that is just as bad as having zero streams, right? Having thousands of thousands, hundreds of thousands of views, zero engagement, and for real, zero money is a major red flag. Um, because if you out here working, it's like this. If I know that I cut my grass, I know that if I go out there and cut my grass on Monday, Tuesday, I'm not gonna have to cut it. You see what I'm saying? So like if you know something and you do it right, you won't have to worry about doing it again on the follow back. A lot of y'all are just real life chasing things and chasing other people's lifestyles, and that's what's
yes,
really trippy.
speak on it. Speak
Yeah, they
on
just chasing
it.
other people's lifestyles, and then you're
Stay in
not
your
even.
lane.
They're not lanes. No one's staying in their lanes anymore, Jezebel.
I mean,
You
not
know what I'm
saying that
saying?
you
Like
can't grow,
they,
but you can't be watching. You can't, you know what I'm saying? What's for you is for you. What's for that person is
right.
for that person. And you
You know how
can't
many people
always
tell
have
me
this
I'm
person
starting
around.
my own radio station and I'm doing my own radio show. I'm about to start doing shows and I'm about to start doing this. And I'm like, yeah, I did that like 2 years ago. Like, yeah, I know, bro. Like, yeah, I want to do it too. Like, okay,
I
it's
mean,
different now. Do something different. Do something else, or do it bigger. You know, don't do what I do. Don't reach out to the same people you see me working with. Go out and do your research, do your recon, break new artists, bring new people into the fold, build the brand.
I mean, but
Ooh.
isn't imitation flattery though? Like,
Well,
I
like
think
the
so.
sad
I
thing
think
is,
so.
they say that imitation is the best form of flattery, but until no one is flattered,
I mean, but how if you inspire someone,
right,
you know, to
right.
is it we had this conversation about Kanye, I mean not about Kanye, but about people
Yeah,
imitating their who they feel
but
is
like
great, you know?
what's
And if
crazy
someone
is like
thinks that you're great, why can't they imitate everything that you do?
Now, like what's crazy is everybody knows that Kanye is one of my biggest inspirations. Like one of my biggest like people that I watch, like and follow and mentor it up, right? But when I look at it, it's like only thing I can take from that is how to move and how to work, right? Not how to live, right? Because these are not. If I'm watching Kanye, if I'm watching the made Kanye, like the now Kanye, if I'm watching the college dropout Kanye, and now I'm starting to say how to live, that's how I need to be living. I've already put myself in a failure position because if I don't have what a Lexus, have I failed? If I don't have a Benz, have I failed? If I don't have a big house, like these are pressures that people put on themselves, and it's like they're losing the whole point. They're missing the fact of, like I tell people, you can't say I want to be like Kanye without the fact of giving away hundreds of records. You know, without making sure people made hundreds and hundreds of millions before he touched a dollar. You see what I'm saying? These people want to be Kanye now without the work part that had to go into that. And even still, even if you want to say I want to be success, well, what about '09 success? Do you want to be him? Do you want to be '07, '08
But
success
they,
that
what if
did
they
all
didn't
the time?
know? What if they don't know who that is? They want to be
That's
whoever,
not
you
then
know.
that's not fair. That's not fair. Then that's not fair. You know what I'm saying? Come on, that's like somebody telling you I want to be on the radio with you, but they can't tell you the name of your radio station. I want to host. I want to be on your show. I want to interview on your show. What show? Yours. Yours.
I mean,
You don't know what it took.
it's just cracking me up. I'm sorry, y'all. I find this absolutely hilarious because you're right about this. You know, you see the glitz and the glam, and you automatically just think it's easy. So you
Man,
try
like
to imitate,
it's
and
it's
you realize, and slowly but surely, people drop off, and you realize that what's for me or what's for this person or what's for that person is for them.
man, listen, like the people don't want the obligations and the commitments that people have to make. Right? And they don't understand those. There's a lot of artists that's walking around talking about they won't take a deal. But then how do you ever expect to get to a Lil Wayne level? He did it with a deal. You want to be the next the baby, but you want to be independent. How do you expect to be the baby when the baby did it with a deal? Like, what are
I
you
mean,
talking about?
they don't understand till they
They
get to that
understand.
feeling.
They understand, but they don't
Oh, they
care.
just think they're different.
You know what people think is? You know what people think? Everybody gets this small moment in their life where they have this idea. You know what? I'm better than this, right?
Mhm.
And that's a good thing to have. When you get to that moment and say, I'm better than this, that's awesome. But when you start saying, I'm better than them, there's a problem, Adolf,
Yeah,
right? That's where
right.
we have a problem. And too many people, instead of saying, I'm better than this and trying to find what they are passionate about and what they love doing, they're too busy talking about, I'm better than them and acting like they
Mhm.
already arrived. Get
Right.
on TikTok, get no views, get on Instagram for them little 1,000, 10,000 views, and they feel like they made it. I mean, it's Instagram models that won't talk to a regular nigga, and these chicks take off their wig and everything regularly and be lonely at night.
Yep.
You know, it's Instagram people and social media people that real life sit up that joint and act like they got it all together,
Yep.
and then we'll try to sell you something that's not even what you need. I had a guy
Yep.
telling me I got a universal plug for you. Universal guy. He puts me on the phone with this guy. This guy comes telling me he do movies for Universal and gospel music. I said, well, why the hell we on the phone? I
Well,
don't do movies or
because
gospel music.
that's
Oh, wasn't interested. Wasn't interested.
I'm just
I was
saying
so
gospel.
mad. I
You
was so
don't have
mad.
one gospel song, six, not
I'm
one
like,
gospel
call
song.
Kanye, man. Call Mace. Call Kanye, man. I got a gospel artist for you to call, man. Why'd you pick up the phone to call me, man?
Oh,
And you know,
damn.
well, you know, you get your budget straight. I don't need a budget to do gospel. I don't want to do that with you. Let's not talk about this no more. You know, and like I don't like them. I don't like the whole. I don't like the whole game. But let let's I want to ask you something else though, because you frequently visit Atlanta, and you see that new song that Amaretta done. Sorry Not Sorry, where she's pretty
Mhm.
much dissing the boroughs of Atlanta or the cities of
Yeah.
Atlanta,
Mhm.
and of course all the people in the DMV now are jumping on this with what's not DMV and what's not the DMV. So I'm getting to the point now. I'm trying to start some new movements. I'm trying to start some new things, and I want to try to put the whole like DMV area like in an Atlanta in an Atlanta type atmosphere. Now I know that it's hard as hell and difficult because the one thing DC don't have is the clubs that play ball, like that the clubs that are willing to make stars. The, everybody in the DMV feel like they're the star. The DJs feel like they're the ones that make you. The clubs feel like you need them. The artists feel like they need them. The followers feel like you ain't shit without them. It's like everybody in the DMV got a title. So like, how can we turn the DMV into the the next mecca for music?
I think, honestly, I'm not even gonna lie, being from DC, and I have to say that because no shade to my Washingtonians, but unless we all come together, it's not gonna work. So I feel like the M and the V needs to just leave the D behind because, like I was
Pause.
telling my mom, because like I was telling my mother earlier, I was just telling her like how divided it is, and I was comparing it to Atlanta or Georgia. Now, before this song came out, a lot of people didn't know that it's a lot of people that's not from Atlanta, but they all pushed together Atlanta. And so when I explained this to my mom, she was like, "Yeah, like people all the way in Marietta, they still say Atlanta, or they could be in Powder Springs, they still say Atlanta, even though it's a little ways. They still dominate in the music industry right now, and you don't know
Mm-hmm.
who's really from the city or not. With the DMV, it's
Mm-hmm.
oh no, I'm from DC, we better than you." And I was telling my mom, no shade to the DC rappers, but I was like, they don't even want to be a part of Maryland and Virginia, but PG County, I ain't even gonna lie, PG County got some of the best rappers.
Oh,
Maryland,
PG
Maryland itself has a
Maryland,
lot
Maryland,
of
PG
great
County,
rappers.
not Baltimore area. They okay, but
I'm saying PG
PG County,
County, Lake
Maryland
County,
has the
like
best artists. Has the
you know
best
what I'm
artists,
saying? Okay,
hands
see,
down, hands down, hands down. I said that. I said
and I
that on my Facebook page, and everyone was like, "Yeah, yeah, 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 yeah." But it's true.
no,
PG
it
County,
is.
Maryland has the best artists, and I just found out that Akakeek and Waldorf is still considered like PG County. Well, Akakeek is
Mhm.
still considered PG County. So like I'm like yes, even that area. Like
Yeah.
the talent wise. So it's sort of
Look,
like
I'm glad
when
we agree on that because I was
it's
telling
like
her
it's
it's a
100%. You 100%.
variety in PG County. It's a variety of artists. You got the drill artists, you got the revolutionary artists, you got the conscious artists, you got all types of variety. And I feel like DC has that too. But the dominating sound is just one sound of DC. And plus,
Now
I feel like
DC got
PG
two.
County.
DC got two brands. DC has two and a half brands of rappers. Right? It is hardcore rap, conscious rap, or go-go rap.
Okay.
That's it.
But I
There
just
is
feel
no
like
like.
PG County artists are also like excelling, even those that claim DC and they know they really from PG County, they just giving DC, they just giving y'all the props, but really it's a lot of PG County artists that's excelling,
The,
that's
the,
making
the,
moves.
the reality of it is DC is going to get the props because that's where everyone has to work. Just like
Mhm.
Atlanta. It's a matter of Powder Springs, you're working in Atlanta. If you're doing big
Yep.
shows, they're in Atlanta. You know,
Mhm.
and if you're working there every day, all day, if you spending most of your hours there, that's where you're gonna rep. If everybody your friends there and all you that's where you hang at, where you live and where you lay your head doesn't mean much of anything now these days. Right? It's where you make your money, pick your bones, and all that stuff like that, I guess. Whoever really cares. But the DMV artists have to come together because that's the only way that you can show the wide variety of the sounds that the DMV has to offer, and the only way that you can put it on a level to where you're competing. Because the one thing DC needs, Maryland needs, and Virginia needs, like I said, you need to be able to stay in your city and hit 50 cities. Stay in your state and be able to hit 50 cities. If you can't do that, you already lost. If you can't hit 50 cities in your state, you already lost. If you can't tour in your city every day, do a show, you already losing. Until you're in the position to expand to another state and start working that state, you should be zoning out your circle, your radius 10, 15, 25, 30, 40 miles. Getting your work in. That's how this game is supposed to be. So now that you have your album done and you're ready to like be a star, start getting your little what's that little tool that has the little pin in the middle and then it starts circling it around like is it a protractor or something? Who knows? Somebody tell me whatever that little tool is, but that's what y'all need to get that little tool and start circling out your 10 yard, 10 miles, 15 miles, 25 miles, because you can do anything.
Yep.
And
That's
like Jay Money just said, like, yeah, you can go anywhere if your music is right. But like I'm gonna challenge J Money on that and tell you, right is in the eye and the ears of the beholder. So you have to know and push your music to your people. My man Jack Harlow said it best. Don't be afraid to take two people and turn two people into four, four people into eight, eight people into 16, 16 people into 32. It don't gotta be 100 people every day. Build on yours. Go to your people. Go to your brand.
But you
Do
know
what you
what?
do.
I like how you said that or how you quoted him because I was just thinking about that. You perform at a club and there's only 5 people. At least one person might come to your next show. You might gain another
At
person
least.
at that show, and now you got 2 people coming to your third show. You know what I'm saying? You never know how that.
Yeah.
That's
My
as
first
far
show,
as
I
that.
tell every my first show in the clubs was a major bust. Now, when I was coming from rec centers, I would do I would do middle schools, elementary schools, and rec centers. I would perform at those. I would do
Rec center. Where is my zip code? Hold on, I can't hear you. Where you go? I can't hear you. Oh, there you go.
elementary schools. I would perform at elementary schools, middle schools, and rec centers, and community centers. And the thing is, those shows are always packed, right? There's always kids, there's always parents leaving their kids at the rec, all that. Always schools gonna take care of that, all that. When I first started doing clubs, it was a culture shock, No one showed
Mhm.
up, and you at least think your friends are gonna show up, right? I
Yeah.
mean, you at least think your friends are gonna show up, but literally no one showed up. It was me, security, and the owner of the club standing there looking at each other for 3 hours. So we was like, all right, well, no one's coming. That lasted for about a month, until one person finally showed up. And I tell that story with pride because I still went out there every week and did my show. Performed for nobody, held my camera up to me. Held my camera up, posted up, and let it record, did my show. My pops told me something that I'll never forget. He said, as long as that camera's rolling, you never know how many people gonna see you. Never think about who's right there in the room. Because we're in a world where that camera is always rolling. With that camera rolling, y'all already know what that means. Someone's always watching. Like I said on my new album, keep your eyes and always smiling and be prepared for the drones because we know all eyes are always on us. Now, one thing for certain, I know y'all know that I got to tell y'all some news. Jezebel, what you got coming up? Cause
Pretty much.
oh,
You got
let's.
it.
I'm sorry, Tanya. We're gonna get this used to this name change.
Well, so you guys, um, definitely have an interview next Wednesday. Y'all stay tuned for the guests. I forgot where's my phone, and I don't have my
Where's my
phone right now.
notes?
But shit. Anyway, you guys just stay tuned for that because I forgot his name, and this is very embarrassing. So
That's
definitely,
all right.
that's next Wednesday. I didn't get to finish editing the Q Hill interview. That should be out definitely this Wednesday at the latest, and that's pretty much it. But enough about me. Y'all make sure to please like and subscribe down below. Hit that notification bell. Um, like we were talking about earlier, we went back to the basics series, just telling you basic stuff that you need as an artist to navigate this music industry. And next week, I think we're going to touch on building your catalog. We touched on a little bit of it today, but there's just so much more to it. That's pretty
And I'm gonna love this series, Back to the Basics, because it seemed like some of y'all did miss it. And Boss Biz has been growing. We've been getting a whole lot more viewers that's been tuned in on the show. So I want to thank all y'all for coming in and like dropping in and leaving y'all comments, and all the people that's been watching the show throughout the week and sending me back messages and letting me know what you thought about the show, asking me questions, let y'all know I hear them. We're trying to answer them all, and just know we're gonna get around to all of them. But y'all make sure that y'all know the Thesso 6 tour is still going on. Texas, we coming your way. March 18th, March 19th. We'll be down in Texas, Austin. So y'all already look for that. March 12th, we'll be up there in Tucker again. But not at the Bottle Ship Lounge this time. We got the Spots Bar and Grill. So y'all make sure y'all pull up there because we're gonna turn up there. Like I told y'all, we're gonna hit 20 cities for sure, but we're gonna have a whole lot of venues. Now, anybody that don't know, y'all can go to the Boss Biz underscore showcase. You know, Boss Biz Radio Showcases. If y'all trying to get any information on shows or how to get on shows. Also, Rolling with Success or at Boss Biz Radio. Y'all go to any one of those pages and we'll help y'all get on some interviews set up on the show. Also, send us that music. We still got the Boss Biz radio station going all day,
every
365,
day.
literally live. And of course, your boy Success is on iHeartRadio Hip Hop 95, Monday through Friday, 10 to 2. So y'all make sure y'all check me out. I'm there every day, unless I'm on the road, obviously. Well,
Mm-hmm.
of course, Jezebel, you got anything else?
Nope. That's pretty much it. You guys just stay tuned, stay safe out there, stay motivated, stay committed to your cause, and remember, you gotta sacrifice, to really enjoy the fruits of your labor. So don't forget about that.
Yeah.
No sleep, team. No sleep.
I look, y'all. I meant that. I be napping. I be napping. So at this time, y'all already know those J's should be down to an ash, and you should be flicking those roaches and getting ready to roll up another one. Cause I know I am. Peace. We out.
We are.